This morning's other big headlines.
Starting with a bombshell announcement amid the mounting lawsuits against Sean Diddy Combs.
The idea of going to these projects.
I blame everybody that's in his circle. They're all means and they want to be like him.
But the Fresh Prince finally clears the air about where he really stands with Combs, formerly known as Puff Daddy or Puffy back in the day, making it known he's not here for any freak-offs or baby oil business. In fact,
I don't have to do with Puffy, so y'all can stop.
fresh off a massive global comeback, Justin Bieber suddenly finds himself pulled into a hidden storm involving some of music's biggest titans, Will Smith, Diddy, Clive Davis, and 50 Cent. And now, with 50 hinting that he's sitting on supposed behind-the-scenes footage, the real story is only starting to heat up. Why is he pressing so hard to expose all of this right now? Stay locked in, because the truth goes way deeper than it looks. From strange late-night messages disappearing off Bieber's phone to quiet conversations at elite Hollywood gatherings, insiders point to one powerful clip they say could shake the entire industry. Did Will Smith witness something that shifted everything? Was Clive Davis steering moves from the shadows? And what happens to Diddy if that footage ever sees daylight? Buckle up. Once you step into this story, there's no walking it back.
You pressing Bieber?
Yeah.
Yo, what's up? Like, I'm calling you and answering.
Yeah, that was low.
That was weird.
Crazy.
That was weird.
They did not run through Bieber at that
Still
point.
was pressing him like, why you not answering your phone? Like, yo.
Yeah.
Like, I don't got a video of me fingering you.
He wasn't answering for a reason.
He was like, I don't ever want to because you did things to me.
They want to mean something, and what will make them mean something in the environment is if they can connect to the violence. They all want it to make it, so they're going to make their value in that. And even when the artist becomes successful coming out of that environment, you're going to have people around him that he feels secure about being around, because he know that when they're traveling to these different neighborhoods that it may be something there, but he knows that this person right here will do it regardless of what. So they bring that person. And without acknowledging it, that person needs them to have altercations for them to need them to be around. That is what is going to potentially bring you down. So when I say that to them, they go, so he's saying it's going to be me that brings me that. Yeah, if you don't adjust and really make the right decisions as you move forward, you are.
Justin might have not been some rebellious pop star going through a, so-called bad boy phase. He was a kid who had been surrounded by powerful figures in the industry, some of whom clearly didn't have his best interests at heart. And that, of course, brings us to Diddy. From the very beginning, Diddy took a special interest in Justin. The extravagant gifts, the 48-hour mentorship, it all seemed like an industry cosign at the time. But looking back, was it really just that, or was there something deeper going on behind the scenes? Then years later, we see Bieber break down in an interview, talking about wanting to protect another young artist, Billie Eilish, from the same things he went through. And now, in the wake of Diddy's arrest, he's reportedly distancing himself completely, staying silent, and doing everything he can to separate himself from that past.
You see Bieber struggling with that. You see some of these guys struggling with that.
They can't get it out of their head. The things that they did, no matter how they did it, whether they were drunk or high or whatever, you gave up your man card. You need therapy. And that's the thing that hurts them the most. And so they end up every way to try and get rid of any principles there are. And that's what the business does.
While Bieber is reportedly having a hard time processing his history with the fallen music mogul, quote, his happiness being a dad has outweighed his anxiety about Diddy. Much remains unclear about Bieber's time with Diddy, and many of these questions may ultimately go unanswered. Online sleuths will surely continue to read between the lines, but for now, speculation is all we have to go on.
To a lot of us, he's like a little brother.
It seems two things are for certain, however. Diddy was once somebody that Bieber looked up to. Now, not so much. What once seemed like a 15-year-old's dream has become a nightmare.
From the jump, 50 Cent has stayed relentless with his trolling, and it exploded right after Will Smith's San Diego show on December 13th. Mid-set, Smith suddenly paused and made it loud and unmistakably clear that he had absolutely zero involvement with Diddy, distancing himself from the chaos surrounding Combs since his September arrest. He even slipped in a quick jab about not liking baby oil, a pointed nod to the items reportedly found during the March raids on Combs' properties. The message was sharp, intentional, and impossible to miss. Will Smith claps back at all the memes linking him to Sean Diddy Combs and finally addresses his history with the music mogul. The Oscar winner took the stage at the Observatory North Park in San Diego on December 12th, and during a break, he called out the memes clowning his past association with Combs, who remains jailed awaiting trial on sex trafficking, racketeering, and transportation for prostitution charges. Fans posted videos showing Will telling the packed crowd, "The world we're in right now, it's really hard for y'all to tell what's real and what's true. I've been seeing y'all's memes, some of it's funny, but..." And right there, the Fresh Prince set the record straight on where he stands with Combs, the man once known as Puff Daddy or Puffy. Early in his career, Will confirms he's not jiggy with the freak-offs or the baby oil. In fact,
raided his house, found all manner of stuff. They found 1,000 bottles of baby oil. Let's be clear here. Diddy is a monster. Diddy is the devil, right? The 1,000 bottles alone was enough for me to lock him up forever. Are you drinking it? 1,000?
And how does 50 respond? Exactly how everyone expects. He grabs that clip, rides the wave of memes he didn't even have to create, and flips the whole moment into smooth promo for his new Roku channel, 50 Cent Action. But why the sudden intensity? Simple. Nearly 20 years of back and forth between him and Diddy. Diss tracks, shady interviews, Instagram jabs, public trolling, all of it has been simmering. And now, with Diddy buried in legal trouble, 50 isn't just poking anymore. He's diving in head first, pushing their rivalry into an entirely new phase.
It's really hard for y'all to discern what's real and what's true.
Yeah, well, it's hard to tell.
And I've been seeing y'all memes and stuff. You've been making memes.
That wasn't me, man.
I see the memes.
I put that up there, but that wasn't me.
No, some of that stuff is funny. Some of it's funny.
You like that? That shit's funny, right?
But I haven't addressed any of this publicly, but I just want to say this very clearly. I don't have to do with Puffy, so y'all can stop.
To do with Puffy.
Number one channel on Roku right now. We out there. No, I was trying to get ready so I don't have to answer to nobody.
The new lawsuit coming with Jay, the part with Jay. I go, oh shoot, like
To us, Black excellence.
that had to be there.
We getting tighter, you know what I'm saying? And united we stand, and ain't nothing else.
Black excellence, they're sitting there like, yeah. It's a billionaire brunch.
Oh, I hate you, man.
Unaware of anything going on here. This is the one time I'm going to be with you this year. Yeah.
Come on, bro.
That's crazy.
Hey, this is the funniest thing online right now. 50 Cent every day wake up and take shots at Diddy on Instagram. We all see that, right? Everybody know that 50 Cent loved to poke fun at Diddy being, who Diddy is, allegedly. But this is funny. 50 reposted this on his Instagram. I guess nowadays, instead of kids saying no H-O-M-O, you know how we used to say when we was kids and now it's pause. I think the new thing that kids are saying, that's what the internet is saying. The new thing kids are saying is no Diddy instead of all that stuff. And 50 posted this. Check this out. This is what people saying on Twitter. It says, I put all my guys in positions, no Diddy. So apparently, instead of saying no H-O-M-O, kids are now saying no Diddy. So 50 reposted this on his Instagram and he captioned it this. This is what he said. He said, oh, I F with son. That's my man. No Diddy.
The one with Diddy and Jay-Z walking around with the...
Oh, that I think that's an apps. Looks like a little app.
That was AI?
That was AI.
Yeah, you know what I do? I look at it, it comes across my feed and I'm laughing at it. And then I go, oh no. People will fall out if I post that.
But let's rewind. Justin Bieber's rise was the definition of a modern Cinderella story, discovered on YouTube, mentored by Usher and Scooter Braun, and blasted into worldwide fame almost instantly. Along that climb, he crossed paths with Sean Diddy Combs, who publicly praised him and, according to some insiders, may have involved him in moments that raised real concern. Then came 50 Cent's explosive claim. He alleges Diddy positioned Bieber in front of industry power players who had the power to build or break a superstar. And 50 isn't brushing this off casually. He's strongly suggesting he has footage backing up every word.
This guy contacted us named Scooter, who's my manager now, and basically stalked us a little bit, kind of got in contact with us, and finally my mom was calling him back to, say, listen, stop calling me. And he was like, I really see a lot in your son. Like, I can help you guys. And my mom was really skeptical at first, but they ended up talking for a couple hours. And he knew some lawyers that we could talk to and stuff. So we ended up flying to Atlanta free of charge, just for him to, check us out and get to know us. And
this is Scooter.
Yes, yeah. This is Scooter. And we ended up signing a deal with Usher a couple months later.
Well, everything for my good friend and brother from another mother, Scooter, Samuel Ron, and just really the philanthropic work that we do as entertainers gives credence, and it actually is evidence that we do give back. A lot of what we do is about fulfilling dreams. Well, that reality goes far and beyond just music. There's tons of people who need access to proper education, and I think that being an advocate for change and proper education, Scooter's definitely done it. And if not only being able to facilitate opportunities along with his brother and introduce Justin Bieber into the really important valuable.
A victim comes out against Usher, it'll show how egregious this shit is, because if he can be a predator, then anybody can be a predator.
Can't smile in your face the whole time.
You feel what I'm saying? Like, people look at Usher, they don't see that. They not seeing the victim. They not seeing that boy that got rushed to the hospital. They not seeing what the intentions was in his heart when he took Justin Bieber there.
Oh.
Let's be honest. He took Justin Bieber there. Diddy had been trying to get to Bieber for a minute. And his management was backing him off. But it wasn't until Usher took over management and had guardianship and gave temporary guardianship to the diddler for 48 hours. Think about that.
I was gonna just
Justin Bieber wants to talk. He signed that where a lot of millions he would have to pay if he goes ahead and talks.
Now there was
shout out to Justin. Justin, holler at me. I'll get you all the information. We ain't got to tell the press. Just get at me, Justin. I want to cry for you and with you, Justin. You did not deserve it. And Usher, you about to get your ass kicked because you took him over there and you knew what Diddy was going to do to him.
Well, I mentioned that earlier. That he said about Stevie J. The Usher part, that's a touchy situation, man. You know what I'm saying? Because I had a certain feeling and I felt a certain way when Usher got on Shay Shay, and I don't mean to mention other people's platforms, but he got on Shay Shay and he mentioned how great and how good Puff taught him and everything. You know what I'm saying? About the business. Right? I know, and people know, that was around that in that time that Puff and Usher.
Yeah, it sounds wild, almost too wild, but it taps into a very real, long-standing fear in the industry. Young artists being moved like chess pieces by powerful insiders with money, influence, and zero accountability. And 50 Cent, a man whose brand is rooted in calling out what others won't, is not backing down. He's been loud about keeping his lifestyle clean this year, making it clear he never joined the high-profile gatherings Diddy was known for, and painting his world as calm and grounded compared to the storm now circling Combs. The bigger this story grows, the more 50 doubles down, positioning himself as the one who spotted the warning signs early and is now pulling the curtain back on the industry's darkest corners.
P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, P. Diddy.
Yeah.
Did he do it, right? I know
He did it.
you've been heavy on social media talking about it.
He did it. And I'm the only one who's been vocal about this long before it actually.
Oh, you've been saying this for a long time now. And then no one was, they're just, why is he saying this? And now it's coming out like crazy. I mean,
But I also didn't participate. I also didn't go to those parties.
Yeah.
So a lot of the celebrity culture that you don't hear saying anything is because they participated to a degree.
But was there a reason you never went to those parties back in the day? Obviously, I know what's going on there, but is there a reason you never did?
I'm just not with all that freaky shit. Like all of the stuff that he's doing, I'm not into that type of stuff. I'm just a little more, maybe you could say basic or normal.
Netflix docuseries that you've been working on. Did he do it?
Right.
You've been saying for years that you feel you knew Diddy's character.
Right.
Yet you said you weren't a part of that lifestyle. You weren't going to the parties. So what makes you so absolutely sure that these kinds of allegations that we've seen against him are true?
Well, I'm surprised by the allegations, as surprised as everyone else is. Like, I didn't make the allegations. I didn't tell people to say these things. It comes out, I see it in the news like everyone else. But I did feel uncomfortable with the way you would present the idea of going to these projects.
To come party with me.
Yeah. And then that swayed me away from it. Just that alone.
So you didn't realize
as much stuff was coming. Like, when I seen today, it was allegations of 3 men that said he drugged them and it's a long time, to be honest with you. Like, when people don't remember being violated for 20 years.
No, you're not worried that it comes back your way? Like, people dig up your past and try to pull stuff up?
I don't got this. My past. Okay. I took a pill, but it was for me to perform better. For her to remember, buddy. I didn't give her a drink so she forget what the happened. What the is going on here, bro? Yes, I took the I gave me the drug to perform. So she could remember and possibly love me for that. Did it work? What the yo, bro, look, I'm doing pretty good.
Here's where everything turns messy. In just months, Diddy has faced a wave of serious allegations, multiple civil suits landing within the same week, followed by anonymous claims reaching back decades. The Cassie case shook the industry most. She accused him of wrongdoing. He denied it, and the situation quietly settled. But what stood out wasn't the lawsuit. It was the eerie silence afterward. And according to 50, that silence has a reason. He suggests some of the material reportedly seized during the raids may show well-known figures tied to the chaos, leaving many too scared to speak out, worried that saying anything might shine a spotlight on their own connections.
Interview. And during this interview, he says that the reason why people are quiet about Diddy is because they've been to his parties and they don't know what's on tape.
Facts. Feds say they got a video of a male sex worker being sexually assaulted by him, and they trying to identify him from the footage. Think about that.
Are you saying of Diddy?
Yeah.
Y'all want to talk about the parties? Because I know people want to bring up the parties all the time. I'm the one that told you I was there. You didn't find out from any other source. I ain't never been to a freak off. I've never been to any party in Hollywood ever where there was something sexual happening, ever. So you got to understand what you won't understand, because you're a Christian. Why would you even go to that function? What you don't understand is that it's similar to being invited to a barbecue. A bunch of people going out there in the backyard, having some drinks, talking, engaging, politicking, networking. That's all it was. That's literally what it was. It was nothing chaotic and crazy. I mean, there were so many people there. It's like if I said, hey, man, I'm having a little kickback at my house. Everybody in Atlanta's invited. And you walk into my house and you see Philip Anthony Mitchell over there and you see T.I. That could be a realistic situation. Would you then condemn Philip Anthony Mitchell?
I believe we're just weeks away from Diddy going on trial, and the stakes are high. Not only has Diddy been in jail since his September arrest, but it's officially confirmed his ex-girlfriend Cassie is expected to take the stand to testify against him. She won't be testifying under the moniker Jane Doe. Instead, she's planning on using her own name. However, federal prosecutors say Diddy's other alleged victims won't be doing the same. I'm Elizabeth Milner with Law and Crime. Our analysts have suspected for a while that Cassie Ventura is indeed victim number one. Now, the allegations laid out in Diddy's federal indictment match almost to a T her federal lawsuit against her ex, which was settled a day after filing. But since then, Diddy has faced 2 more superseding indictments, and now more victims have been added. But federal prosecutors say testifying under their real names would cause them significant embarrassment.
50 Cent isn't rolling out this documentary by coincidence. The timing is razor sharp. With legal pressure closing in on Diddy, who has pleaded not guilty, been denied bail 3 times, and is now heading toward a major trial in May 2025, the spotlight has never been hotter. But beyond the legal circus, 50 knows the streaming game better than most. Explosive exposés pull massive attention, spike subscriptions, and turn controversy into profit. He's already hinting at interviews with people who were there during those high-energy events, saying they're finally ready to talk now that fear isn't holding them back. For 50, this isn't just a story, it's a calculated strike at the perfect moment, blending business, timing, and old tension into one explosive rollout.
Blind where you said, I think this guy likes men, or I think he likes certain things that's a little weird.
Well, he didn't start off like that. I'm quite sure somebody taught him that, and that's more deep in the industry. These guys who got involved with a lot of people who was their mentors, it was done to them, they do to the next person. So I felt that Puffy was a regular, normal guy. It goes on and on. Where did it start from? Major executives who run these labels.
That's actually very insightful for you to give that perspective. So if you're saying what Diddy did to Usher or what Diddy did to Bieber, that we've seen these videos, not necessarily what he did, but the stories where he's living with them at 13. If he was their mentor, who was Diddy's mentor? We know some of the big names. I'm just curious if you have any names.
Well, number one was Clyde Davis. I walked in Jimmy's office. I didn't have to knock on the door or get somebody let Jimmy know Mr. Night there. Walk right in. He do his thing. Anyway, when he walked in my office, we was having a conversation. He overheard somebody say something he probably shouldn't have heard. He wanted to holler at me. So I tell the homies, give me a minute. Jimmy said, man, I'm here because Clyde Davis called me, and him and Puffy is real tight, and, he loved us. So I thought he was talking like they got love for each other. So, all right. He said, yeah, they are lovers. I said, well, why you keep saying that? I said, look, you saying they lovers like they're sucking? He said, I don't want to say that, but that's what it means, right? I said, okay. He said, Clyde don't want nothing to happen to Puffy. He said, but this guy ain't going to be able to do his business because we know what he did. What they did.
I opened up myself to the possibility of a person rather than a gender. I have never stopped being attracted to women. So we're now dealing with the subject of bisexuality. This subject is very misunderstood because the old adage is
What makes this situation so volatile comes down to 2 major elements. First, the scale of what's being implied. If 50 sources hold any truth, this isn't about a few questionable moments. It points to years of influence, pressure, and promises used in ways that made rising artists too afraid to speak. Second, the level of the people attached to the story. Will Smith, long considered Hollywood royalty. Diddy, a global mogul whose reach stretched across music, fashion, and business. Clive Davis, one of the architects of modern pop. When names like this show up in the same conversation, the stakes go from personal drama to potential industry meltdown.
This morning's other big headlines.
Starting with a bombshell announcement amid the mounting lawsuits against Sean Diddy Combs, Houston rapper 50 Cent announced yesterday that he's the executive producer of a docu-series about the sexual assault and allegations against Combs. The series will also discuss the sex trafficking and racketeering charges Combs is facing. The series is expected to make a premiere on Netflix, but a date has not yet been set.
Yeah, and you know what? I think a lot of people thought that 50 was just trolling, and if anyone follows 50 on
Twitter or Instagram, he's no stranger to that. He definitely, engages in trolling and makes a lot of jokes. So when he had, repeatedly taken shot after shot after shot at Diddy and then said, hey, I'm working on a documentary, I think a lot of people thought that he was just joking around. It turns out he's not. So this is actually a real project that's being made under his G-Unit movie and TV studio, and he's made a bunch of really successful projects under that banner. They were actually selling it around to different streaming organizations, including Netflix. Netflix ultimately had the most money, placed the winning bid, and at some point here in the future, we don't know exactly when, but this is actually going to be something that airs on Netflix.
So it's not like he hate Diddy, but sometimes niggas might do that we don't know about.
Well, for him to make the documentary, I think he hates Diddy.
Nah.
Nah?
That's business.
That's just business?
Business. You wouldn't be mad. Look,
you got to really dislike someone to do a documentary about him.
If Jimmy Iovine did the documentary.
But everything circles back to one massive question. What did Justin Bieber actually understand about the forces moving around him? Was he aware of the pressure and politics at play? Or just a young artist chasing a dream without noticing the danger? And what about the people closest to him? Usher, Scooter Braun, even Will Smith. Did they sense something was off, or did they choose not to look deeper? In the end, the bigger challenge becomes this. After everything that's come out, can audiences still listen to the music without thinking about the shadows behind it? Will fans cheer the same way when Bieber steps on stage? Or is this the moment the public starts demanding accountability from the icons they once treated as untouchable?
After appearing in TMZ's latest documentary, The Downfall of Diddy, Inside the Freak-Offs. During an interview for the doc, he said, quote, "I'm hearing about artists paying victims to keep their names out of it." He's basically saying some celebrities out there were involved in Diddy's freak-offs and they're trying to pay off survivors. This part isn't entirely new information. We always knew Diddy had a lot of celebrities in his sphere, from the white parties with Leo DiCaprio and Ashton Kutcher to his past relationships with singers Jennifer Lopez or Cassie. But in more recent weeks, we've learned that some celebrities were also involved in these illegal freak-offs, and in at least one case with an underage victim.
I believe it's a lot of rappers, a lot of music people, a lot of executives that could not say no. Cat Williams say, you just got to say no to Diddy. And it's a lot of people that couldn't say no. And they probably on tape because they couldn't say no.
So you think it's possible that Diddy, he got footage of rappers in the stash just in case he got to use it for blackmail?
It's a possibility. It's not far-fetched. If he was taping Cassie and he was having Cassie taped and everything like that, why wouldn't he do nobody else? She's the only one? I doubt it.
So you know what I mean? Like,
but I saw some shit about Bieber, like that Diddy groomed him. I saw it on YouTube recently. Is that shit real?
I don't know, bro. Like, Diddy in and of himself is an interesting character.
Yeah.
My barber, rest in peace, Caesar, was actually his barber. The parties in South Beach and fucking Star Island and shit like that, if you speak to anybody in Miami or any of the industry that's been in this, it's no secret the amount of like weird.
They did Bieber dirty. But now the whole world is watching, and this story is nowhere near done. The real question is whether 50 Cent is actually holding the ultimate game-changing clip, or if Curtis Jackson is playing a long, strategic game, using pressure, timing, and perfectly crafted trolling to rack up views while shaking the industry's foundation. Is he exposing hidden truth, or brilliantly turning the fall of music's biggest power players into his own unstoppable momentum? Either way, the giants he's calling out are definitely feeling the impact.